Oh, finger on the buttons. There we go. Nothing kills a mood like a verse that tells you to be happy about suffering. Wait, happy about suffering. I even read that right. That just sounds weird. But James doesn't say fake it till you make it. He says trials produce something if we let them. So we're talking about the painful joy. Take two. You wonder why my voice goes. It's because I say everything twice. Nothing kills a mood like a verse that tells you to be happy about suffering. But James doesn't say fake it till you make it. He says trials produce something if we let them. Now we're talking about the painful math of joy and what God is actually forming when life falls apart.
Got it. Bill, I said at the end of our last episode that, like, why would we pick James? Because James doesn't hold any punches for sure. Like, could you imagine, like, so we're talking, here's what we're talking about. We're talking James 2 through 4. So James 1, verse 2, 3, and 4. So he comes out of the blocks, right? Like, hey, I'm the servant. Jesus is Lord. You're scattered. I care about you. Hi, how are you? And then he says this: consider it all pure joy, brothers and sisters, when you face trials. No, no, when I face
What kind of
trials, I'm
trials?
not happy about it.
He doesn't say
And in verse 3, he
no. He
says,
doesn't
because
just
you know
hang on. He doesn't just say trials. He says trials of many kinds.
of many kinds. Yes. Yeah, not just trials, but trials of basically all trials.
All kinds of trials.
And then he goes into verse 3 and says, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Well, you know what I say to that? Who cares? I don't want perseverance. I don't need perseverance.
How long is
I
this?
just want the trial.
How long is this going to last?
Yeah, I just want the trial to get over with. And then he goes into verse 4 and says, let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing.
Not lacking anything.
Not lacking anything.
Not lacking anything. So
imagine this. You go out to the mailbox, you open up, you see, hey, I got a letter from the pastor. Like, fantastic. I wonder what he's got to say. And he comes right out and says, hey, next time you have some trouble in your life, be happy about it.
come on.
Like come on, dude. I can't. Like, no. It doesn't work that way.
I'm going church shopping if that happens.
Trials are things I should avoid. Because they hurt, they're painful, they're challenging. So I need to avoid trials.
Yeah.
James is not. That's not what James is saying.
Okay,
James is saying something else.
let's look at this a different way.
Okay.
Let's look instead of James 2, 3, 4, let's look at James 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
All right. So 4, let perseverance finish its work. What
does perseverance mean? Like let's take it out of the context from the biblical context here for just a second. Let's think about it just in general. What does perseverance produce?
Something that's more of a finished product. Because he's talking about maturity. In verse 4, it says, so that you may be mature. I kind of batted around the idea of I had shoulder surgery. And, a few years back. And at a point in the rehab, he was feeling pretty good, but I was supposed to go to physical therapy 2-3 times a week for 4 or 5 months, I forget. But physical therapy, I think there's sadists. I think they like hurting people.
Oh, they absolutely are. There's no doubt about that.
But, after a couple of months, my shoulder's feeling pretty good. And I could very easily say, you know what, I don't have to go to physical therapy anymore. But I kept going. And I kept persevering through the physical therapy because they bend you ways that don't seem right. They don't seem right, right? But at the end of it, man, my shoulder was really, really good. Now, I'm going to preface that with a friend of mine who had knee surgery. Now, he was much older than me, but he had knee surgery 2-3 months ago from today. And one of the first things he was supposed to do was get on a bike, a stationary bike, and cycle every day. Well, guess what? He got on a bike when he felt like it. Nobody feels like getting on a bike.
Like, not if, especially not if your knee hurts.
And his knee never really rehabbed until he actually started getting on the bike. But
I think that's like
his short term on the bike every day ended up being a lot longer over time to get to the mature spot with his knee, because he didn't want to persevere. He wanted to just put his leg up and watch a football game. I'm all for football games, but you could watch a football game while you're on the bike, depending upon where the bike is.
so. I think it's a great analogy, right? It's like no matter what we face, we have to like be consistent, be patient through the whole thing. And I think that's what the perseverance is. So perseverance actually gives us some sort of benefit and value in the end. So whether it is I'm stronger, or I hurt less, if it's in terms of shoulder or knee surgery or whatever it is, like the pain goes away, and it goes away kind of more permanently because I persevered through the rehab, or I have new knowledge, I have a new way of doing things. I'm a better person because I was patient and consistent, or I persevered through that. So it's interesting that you want to start at 4, go to 3, to go to 2, because now I look at perseverance as like that's a good thing, right?
Right.
It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But then if we go to verse 3, it says, "Because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance."
Perseverance is a product.
So perseverance is a product of the test or the trial or the challenge, or whatever, whatever word we want to include there. Perseverance is the product of that.
Yeah. And testing, you know, I'm a faithful person. I trust God. And James is talking to these people. He's talking to believers scattered all over the place.
Yep.
And he's saying in verse 3, he's saying, your faith is going to be tested big time. But you know what it's going to produce? It's going to produce perseverance. And what is perseverance? You just trusting me through the worst of it.
And what does perseverance give you? Perseverance makes you complete, makes you mature, makes you not lacking anything,
Right.
makes you better as a person.
Right. And that's
So now we have to look at it and say, well, then testing isn't necessarily a bad thing. Testing is actually a good thing because of what it produces, perseverance. And perseverance gives us maturity and completion.
and because of that, we go to verse 2.
Yeah.
Where James starts it off, and he says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds." He's not talking about persevering. He's just saying, guess what? You're going to face trials, all kinds of trials. It's pure joy. And you're going,
Yeah,
and what are we doing? No, it isn't. No joy. No joy being had here. None.
Yeah, none. But I think that by kind of doing that 4-3-2, here's what it looks like. It's saying it's like, so perseverance is a good thing because what it does is it makes me better, makes me mature and complete. But I can't get perseverance unless I am tested. So therefore, testing is a good thing. So therefore, when I'm tested, I shouldn't look at it as, ugh, this sucks. This is how soon is this going to be over with? Like I should now look at this test and go, hey, when this test is over, I now am better. So that's something to look forward to. That's something that I should consider joyful in my life when I'm tested.
But because James goes 2, 3, 4, he's prefacing it, but he's basically starting off by saying, this is joy, guys. Okay, joy isn't a feeling, it's a focus.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Joy isn't
I mean,
yeah.
but so he does say that, right? He's saying that, like, so because you're having this trial, you should see it as an opportunity to be joyful because of what will happen as at the end. And trials don't necessarily break our faith.
They shouldn't.
I think it actually reveals it.
Right. Now, some people are,
Because if I'm not joyful in the trial and I allow it to let me go off in a different direction or do something outside of how I should act. Like, is it did I let the trial just let me lose my faith, or did the trial just say, how faithful were you at the beginning of it anyway?
yeah, and he's trying to teach us. These trials are meant to build us up. It's resistance training. Okay,
That's exactly what it
and
is.
endurance isn't passive. It's spiritual resistance training. You get stronger by staying, and that's where the perseverance comes in. That's where the endurance comes in.
Yeah.
That's what perseverance is. Is is
So,
is staying in your faith, and your faith gets stronger.
well, and if you think of it like the endurance training, right? It's like the we all know, like, if you work out, whether that's walking, running, weight training, whatever it is, we know while you're doing it, there's a bit of pain involved. There's a discomfort involved with that. But we know that if we do it, that there's an outcome that we're looking for. So joy doesn't necessarily mean you have to like the trial.
Right.
So when he says consider it pure joy, we're not saying enjoy the trial. We're saying can be consider it pure joy that you've been given this trial that will produce the perseverance, which will produce the maturity.
Got it. So
Right?
the payoff, just condensed it. Here it is. Joy doesn't mean liking the trial. It means trusting the outcome. When God says
Mhm.
complete or lacking nothing, he's not talking about easy peasy. He's talking about endurance that has done its work.
I
That's
like that.
that's where the maturity comes from. So that's what James is talking about when he's talking about joy. When you look at it 4-3-2 instead of 2-3-4, man, it just brings it to life even more.
Yeah.
And
And I think for me, I mean, we all face trials, right? Everybody has their challenges in life and whatever. And I can talk about mine must be so much worse than yours. Or, boy, I'm glad I don't have your trials. Yours are so much worse than mine. But I think the true call to action here is to take us, at least this is the call to action I'm going to do this week, is I'm going to stop and just look at what trials am I facing right now. And of them, can I really put them into kind of frame them in the idea of like take them head on, take them a step at a time, and just persevere, just be consistent and be patient. And at the end of it, I will have learned something. There will have been a good outcome for me.
yeah,
And because of that, I have to look at the trial that I'm in right now and say, I don't have to like it, but it's a good thing for me.
and God is putting you through it for a very good reason. He
Yeah.
knows you can endure it if you stay with it.
Yeah.
So count it pure
So
joy. God's giving you stuff to go through. Count it pure joy.
yeah. So I'm not even looking at it as a call to action for our listeners. I'm looking at it as a call to action for me because I struggle with this, Bill. So that's my own call to action this week.
That's great. We're continuing, James. Get your feet out. James is going to step on it. See you next time. That's Jamie.
That's Bill.